Alright, let me tell you what it takes for me to make one little animated short. Now, first, what I do is I have to get a recording session straight. Most of the times I record me telling a story with my friend Simon, and I guess that's the easiest one, but the more authentic stuff is the one like I record without people knowing, and then I tell them I recorded, and then based off their consent, I'll keep the recording. So I respect people's privacy. Then what I do is I pull up this animating software called Pivot, and it's from 2004. So and basically what Pivot is just stop motion on the computer. So it's hella tedious, and you sit there for hours and hours just trying to animate one little scene. I do this all on a school computer, not even a computer, a school tablet that was given to us this year. It's a Surface Pro, and usually y'all would say that's fine, and it is, but it's not meant to do all this stuff. But anyway, so I sit there animating, right? And let's say the animation itself is 2.5 minutes. That's easily 3,000 and a half pictures, right? If it's really good. And I have to stretch I gotta stretch that 2-minute animation into 10 minutes, depending on the recording session. So just keep that in mind. So after I'm done animating, and then let's say that took about a good 8 hours, I move the pictures to your video editing software that's on the computer called Windows Movie Maker. Yeah, those who do video editing know that junk gets hella tedious. The recording that I do, I record with my phone, just like I record, or just like I get music from my phone. I had to download sound effects on my phone because you can't download that stuff on the school computer. So I basically take a cord, plug it into the Surface, and then transfer all the files onto the computer, and then put the recording over 3,000 pictures. So we're getting to the video editing part, which is halfway through. But this part takes a really long, it's real tedious. So basically, you gotta set each picture to 0.07 seconds so it can run fluid like an animation. And then what you do is, depending on because you can't just link the animation to the sound. It just doesn't work like that. The pictures are just pictures with music over the top. So you'll have somebody talking. If they're not talking for long enough, what I have to do is I have to loop their animation so that the animation goes with the voice, and I just go through each and every picture doing this to make sure that it links with the voiceover. And so once I'm done with that, I save it. That takes a good 15-20 minutes onto a flash drive. You put the video that you saved in another open file on Windows Movie Maker, and then you stretch it out so that you can see where you want to put sound effects. And I have to sit there and time each sound effects, and that's actually not the hardest part, really. And when somebody curses, I try to bleep it out. You gotta isolate that one curse word and then put a censor beep over it. Yeah, that junk gets tedious after a while. After you apply all the sound effects, you save it again. That takes about 10-15 minutes, and then you take that same video and you place it in another open file in Windows Movie Maker, and then you stretch it out and add music to it. Now, I like to use instrumentals because if you try to listen to the video and you hear somebody else rapping, you're gonna get distracted. So I put the music on. That's probably the easiest part of the video. Then I save it on the computer, and then after I save it on the computer, I transfer it to my phone, because I can't upload things on YouTube either from the computer, because the administration puts a big old firewall block on it. Even from home, I don't know how that's possible, but they do. So then I upload it to YouTube, and then bam. But see, it doesn't always work out that easy, right? And that sounded pretty hard, I'm guessing. So sometimes my dumbass will sit there and animate a good scene that takes a good 20 minutes, and then I'll accidentally press X or whatever, go in between the internet and the actual program, and I'll sit there oh my god, oh! Yesterday I was mad and I got in that section, and I was celebrating, and I stood up and accidentally stepped on the power surge, and my whole PS4 turned off, and I didn't get the interception. Like, oh my goodness, how much more frustrated could it be? And it sucks. And then the cord that I had for a minute that connected my phone to the tablet was so flimsy, the lightest touch would disconnect my phone even if the thing was still inside. And then I gotta go through the whole process again. And so sometimes when I do the video editing, I'll sit there for hours and hours and hours, and then all of a sudden the video wants to get corrupted. Now I gotta save it, exit out, then pull it back up again. And probably the most frustrating part with all of this is when I would do the video / animation part. Basically, I would videotape us and then record our voices so that you can see our reactions, and then try to cut it in between, you know, the animation and stuff like that. And honestly, that would be way more convenient than actually doing all the animation, because the dude, you don't have to have an extra animation for when you're telling the story. You can just have us telling the story. But see, the thing is, Windows Movie Maker is so cheesy. Every time I put a video up there and then trim it, it always cuts off like a whole 1.5 seconds of what the dude is saying. So like, it just sounds weird, and I couldn't do most of the stuff I would do. And it didn't look like that in the preview mode, because when you're editing it, it sounds perfect, but when you save it, there's a whole second cut off of each video, and it's annoying, you know. And so this whole process could take, honestly, 20 hours.
And family is everything, and money is less important. Long as your mama love you, don't ever love a woman. I got a lot of bitches, they got a lot of feelings, but I got that green on my eyes.